Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kia Fitrianisa with ID student 33210056 with class 336A02. I'm here to make a video for project 2 of Applied Linguistics. First one, I would like to tell you about the problems first. The first one is Mr. Thompson is a linguist studying the use of language in news reporting. He is particularly interested in how language can convey bias, shape public opinion, and influence the perception of news events. Mr. Thompson analyzes articles from various news outlets covering the same events to identify linguistic patterns that may indicate bias. He also considers the impact of these linguistic choices on the audience's understanding and interpretation of the news. And for the question is, the first one is, what linguistic features should Mr. Thompson focus on to identify bias in news reporting? Discuss at least three features and explain how they can contribute to bias reporting. And for the second problem is, imagine you are a language planner working for the government of a country with a diverse linguistic landscape. The country has several indigenous languages spoken by different ethnic groups, as well as a dominant national language used for official purposes. Their task is to develop a language policy that promotes linguistic diversity while ensuring effective communication and national unity. And the question is, how can the government promote the use and preservation of indigenous languages through education? And this is the analysis or the answer for the question. The first one is Mr. Thompson can use word choice and tone or lexical choice. A lexical choice refers to vocabulary or word which is varied with the particular style or form of the text. Personal judgment or social or cultural background of the writers by Van Dyck, 1991, page 210, by which it is used to create an impression to the readers. Lexical or word choice is an important element that can imply attitudes of writers. Moreover, it can also determine how interestingly and accurately writers communicate ideas. By Perrin, 1987, page 282. In some news reporting, for instance, the word used to refer to the police may be PC, puppy, copper, or cop. The use of these words can imply the attitude of the writers towards to the police since they indicate the use of formality. Tone refers to the author's attitude towards the subject matters. It influences how readers perceive the content. Journalists use tone to convey emotion, establish credibility, and create a sense of intimacy or distance with their audience. For instance, a news article reporting the same incident can have profoundly different tones based on word choice. And for the second is framing and context. News outlets frame stories differently based on their editorial stance. Look at headlines, subheadings, and lead sentences. These framing devices subtly shape readers' understanding. Framing refers to how the media packages and presents information to the public. It involves selecting specific aspects of an issue and making them salient while ignoring others. Diagram Chevrolet proposed a comprehensive model of framing, addressing processes that from building, from setting, individual level framing, and feedback loops from audience to journalists. Irving Goffman coined the phrase frame analysis when studying the organization of experience in everyday life. Frames are cultural standards and routines that guide our interaction and communication. Similarly, news broadcasts follow certain codes and conventions when presenting the news. to the audience, which are framed within a particular format. The concept of framing was first posited by Gregory Bateson in 1972. He defined psychological frame as a spatial and contemporary bounding of set of interactive messages by Bateson 1972, page 197, that operates as a form of metacommunication. Hallahan 2009. Framing describes the practice of thinking about news items and story content within familiar context. Framing is related to the agenda-setting tradition but expands the research by focusing on the essence of the issues at hand rather than on a particular topic. The basis of framing theory is that the media focuses attention on certain events and then places them within a field of meaning. Image Communication Theory, Aman, 2017. And the third is media bias and linguistic patterns in news. Media bias is a concept of widespread use of which believes actually widespread disagreement about meaning, measurements, and impact. Although the concept is debated by scholars and the general public alike, academic and public opinion often differs in the meanings ascribed to the term and the conclusion drawn about its nature and prevalence. In academic circles, media bias is referenced more often as a hypothesis to explain patterns of new coverage than as a component of any fully elaborated theory of political communication. Indeed, Edmund 2007, 9, page 163, recently bemoaned its status as a curiously under-theorized staple of public discourse about the media. Bias is yet to be defined clearly, let alone receive much serious empirical attention. Although studies have examined it in many countries, the most concentrated empirical research on the topic has taken place in the United States. Kite and Strombeck 2008, reflecting the predominance of empirical social scientific perspective as well as the historical development of political journalism in this country. The U.S. commercial media system, which functions relatively free of state control and has its own professional norms, was the originator of objective journalism and remains its chief expositor. However, objectivity is defined by Rodman 1992 and Starr 2004. Based on the Canadian Association of Journalists, many have sought the definition of journalism. One of the well-known proposals includes that of Adam by 1998, who defined journalism as a form of expression used to report and comment in the public media on events and ideas. A product of individual journalists and the culture in which they work, always marked by five principles of design. The first one is news or news judgment. Second is reporting or evidentiary method. The third is linguistic techniques or plain style. Fourth is narrative technique, and for the last is the method of interpretation or meaning. The Canadian Association of Journalists also mentioned Kovac and Rosenshell by 2007, who set out nine somewhat definitive elements of journalism touching on the duty to citizens, independence, and other tenets of what was once known as civic journalism, as well as a now famous axiom that the essence of journalism is a discipline of verification. See also Dratler et al. 2001. More recently, Daisy 2005 proposed that working journalists share a common occupational ideology was essential elements, a collection of values, strategies, and formal codes characterizing professional journalism and shared most widely by its members, can be recognized worldwide. This ideology can be described, according to Deze, under the heading of five ethical typical traits or values. These are public service, autonomy, objectivity, immediacy, and ethics. And next is the second. This is the second answer for the problem. The first one is inclusion in curriculum. The understanding and definition of the concept and development of inclusive practice differ in and within different countries and make researching inclusive education even more essential for understanding what inclusion is and how it can be achieved. By Hernandez Torano, Samartan, and Helmer 2020. Lately, several schools have produced systematic review on the concept of inclusion and have noted that the definition of inclusive education differs between theoretical approaches. Some believe that the core concept of inclusion only concerns specific groups or categories of people, whereas others maintain that inclusion involves everyone. Daniel Holm and Ransom 2017. Commonly, researchers who study inclusive education refer to the Salomon First statement to highlight the importance of social justice, democracy, and the elimination of all forms of exclusion and discrimination by Hernandez Solano, Somerton, and Helmer 2020. However, inclusive education as a normative-based policy is challenging to explore in research and to achieve a specific educational situation because context and individuals differ from situation to situation. The Carpenson at 2020, Halinan and Jarvinan 2008. And the second is bilingual education programs. There are a lot of descriptive definition of bilingual education of the source here. Bilingual education refers to the practice of teaching non-English speaking children in their native language. This program is proposed to be designed to allow students who develop in subjects such as math, science, and social studies when they learn English in class by Paul Stone 1978. And also, Paul Stone 1978 highlights bilingual education as teaching students to be fluent in two languages. Meanwhile, Baker 1998 opened bilingual education is the use of two languages, one of which is English, as a medium of instruction for the same population in a well-organized program that encompasses part of all of the curriculum and includes the study of history and culture associated with their mother tongue. This program develops and maintains the children's self-esteem and legitimate pride in both cultures. The impact of the bilingualism are to enhance the cognitive abilities, cultural understanding, and language preservation. And the third is community language learning or CLL. Community language learning or CLL is a language teaching method which involves psychological aspect and students work together to develop what skill of a language they would like to learn. This method firstly developed by Charles A. Curran and his association, which is called counseling learning theory within the language teaching tradition. So as sometimes cited as an example of a humanistic approach. The role of the teacher is called counselor, and the learners are called client in the language classroom. CLL is firstly developed by Charles Ekman and his associates. Curran is a specialist in counseling and professor of, of psychology at Loyola University Chicago. Jack C. Roger and Theodore S. Roger, 1986, page 113. His application of psychological counseling techniques for learning is known as counseling learning. Community language learning represents the use of counseling learning theory to teach language. Jack C. Richards and Theodore S. Roger, 1986, page 113. The impact of these centers to revitalize languages, promote cultural and exchange, and strengthen community bonds. Not only that, we can use the language teaching and learning based on Davis 2007, page 64 until 65. Confirms the claim of language teaching and learning in a quiet connection. Self-led linguistic with some relative experts statement as the following sample given by the Crystal. The use of linguistic theories, methods, and findings in elucidating and solving problems to do with language which have arisen in other areas of experience. The domain of applied linguistics is extremely wide and includes foreign language learning and teaching, lexicography style, forensic speech analysis, and the theory of reading. Besides, here are another theories deal between language learning and or teaching and applied linguistic Davis 2007 showed that the study of the use that man makes of the language endowment and of the problems that he encounters in doing so is the subject matter of applied linguistics by Wilkins, 1994, page 162. Testified to the widening scope, and exemplify how far both the discipline and the journal have moved beyond an early, almost exclusive concern with only one real-world problem: how best to teach and learn languages. By Cook and Casper, 2005, page 479. And this is the references that I use to make this presentation or to support my analysis. And thank you for listening. I'm sorry if I made a lot of mistakes or for the bad pronunciation. I think that's all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.